electrical charge comes from one of the large ships, probably generated by the fan/coil engine. The charge travels along its spine and electrified pathways onto the next craft behind it. This craft relays the charge to the next one, and so forth, until the charge is funneled to the smaller ships hanging lower to the ground. Boom. Pick a target. It was an act of God, or men playing God.
All right, so this is sent to me, and I forget who sent it to me, but thank you, from Catastrophes Climatiques, and this is apparently from Australia. And here we're going to see, take a look and see if you can see the ghost ships in here, but this is the artist's rendering of what he thought, Mr. Gautreau, at what is in our skies. Take a look at the video firsthand and see what you can see here. Did you catch the ships? See it right there in the upper left-hand corner? There's another one to the right. And we're going to break it down here a little more to show what these are like. But here's the sequence. I just took screenshots and took a sequence. And here you can clearly see, there's ships up there emanating from the front, the back, and the sides. Look at that grow all around a central pointed area. This is all being concentrated, and it just continues to grow until you can clearly see the outline of the ship there on the right. It is clearly one of these ships that Mr. Sean Gautreau describes in his What Is in Our Skies videos, of some 30 or 40 videos of him watching, filming, and doing artist renderings. And he's concluded that there's many different ships that were being up there, which we'll get into a little later. But here, take a look at the lightning here, and take a closer look, and you can see the black outlines of the triangles there. You can see them going right through as we slow it down a little bit. Here's a fast speed of just it going off at the very top. And you can see all the different lightning charges coming in from different points in different areas, all being centered on one point. And then when we break that down, we see there's two different energies that are creating lightning, maybe even three on this. And we're just going to watch this continually grow. See the ship? You see it right there, folks? It's right there on the left. You can see it. It's right there pointing the lightning down. It is artificial. It is in our skies. There's another one right there. It's right up there in our skies. This was taken in Australia, I guess, last week or so. But here it is. You see it right there on the left. You see that triangle? It's exactly what Mr. Gautreau has been describing. Case in point, proof positive, happened the other day. Now we can see it there's a little farther in the video here, where it creates a huge, massive lightning. So you see the structure on the left, the one in the middle, the one on the right, and there's another one above it. There's over 4 of these concentrating their energy towards one beam of one spot, and it's going to grow. And you can see again clearly, here's the ships, and it's growing. The lightning is growing. They're gaining more power. They're gaining more static electricity, and they're grounding it into the earth. And here you can clearly see the ships. It is like so self-evident. And there's another lightning storm going off this way. This is proof positive, folks. This is from another shot that I took from this guy's catastrophic catastrophes. But look at the focus beam here. Look at how it comes down into one spot, and it just gains energy and power once it grounds with the earth. Clearly, 3 distinct, with the machine sitting in the upper left-hand corner, and a big white ball that's only going to gain in strength, and looks like the one on the left is feeding the mothership of exactly what Mr. Gautreau was talking about, of one ship, the mothership, enabling and powering the other ships to create multiple lightnings. This is exactly what we're seeing here in these videos. So this is what I've got for you today. We're going to get into more a little later.
Some of you will understand this. Some of you will not. Some of you have seen these things in the sky. Others have not. Some who see this presentation are way ahead of me. But the moral of the story is, you cannot fool all of the people all of the time. First, who am I? I am a book illustrator living in New Orleans, Louisiana. Since I was a teenager, one of my hobbies has been photography. I had said that my best capture ever was when I captured lightning hitting the World Trade Center in July of 2000. I could find very few similar photographs. In May of 2011, I revived my hobby in the form of video and trying to capture the almost daily lightning that accompanies afternoon storms that move through the area from the Gulf of Mexico. That worked great for a while until the storms strangely disappeared. No longer did the storms make their way this far north, so I could record them. One of the last good recordings I made of lightning that year was lightning that was forking horizontally in the sky against a double rainbow. At this point, I began studying radar. Not the radar from the nightly news, but radar directly from Uncle Sam. Instead of the storms moving in, they unexpectedly halted miles away and evaporated. I began recording this anomaly in video, while confirming it on radar. Moreover, the local radar showed some very uncharacteristic patterns. I am not a meteorologist, but I know local weather patterns, and patterns that should not be showing up on radar. The radial burst patterns that emanated from the same spots and impacted the storm fronts became obvious. Other patterns began to occur. It seemed like dense areas of sky material would pop out of the sky, or maybe even the ground, and would affect the storm's intensity, sometimes in a calming manner, and sometimes in a way that would increase the intensity. Also, thin waves of material or energy began to show itself, moving perpendicularly and also affecting the storms. Have you ever wondered why your radar actually looks like this on a clear day? In June, I used a long-range DSLR to record still shots at a distance of cloud patterns that were not natural. Triangle clouds, square clouds, clouds shaped like submarines, and certain animals began appearing. The spine cloud, the Christmas tree cloud, the crawfish cloud, and the dolphin cloud were some of the names that I used to identify these atypical but recurring types. Patterns and repetition gave it away. While searching for another angle on these phenomena, I was able to download satellite images of the area to look for clues. The thermal images were most interesting. It did not take long before I spotted patterns that should not be there. Cold, black triangles, abnormal cloud patterns, water surface reflections of clouds that did not appear above them in the photo, angular clouds, angular shadows, retouched photos, objects above the water that could not be explained, bluish-green vapors coming from the surface-based spots. Vortexes is the term I first used for the wind currents that ripped apart our storms. I also applied it to the larger constant wind currents that seemed to surround the area on a daily basis, visible by sight and radar. By July, watching sped-up video allowed me to pinpoint the leading edges of the vortexes. Sometimes these leading edges had shadow clouds forming and unforming. Then some shadow clouds were found not to be connected to a visible vortex. These were consistently angular and about the same size. I called these wispy bats, birds, or darts. At this point, I could tell I was seeing aircraft, probably drones of some sort. There were also unexplained shadows in the clouds that were larger, triangle-shaped, and very agile. Cloud busting. It's a term I used until I realized it was a common term online. Again, repetition gave them away. By late July, I knew where to point the camera to capture the repeating patterns and shapes, and where to expect an anomaly. Our storms were intentionally being drained of energy and dissipated on macro and micro levels. But where were they getting their material, their fuel, their medium to complete all of this? Aerosol spraying. On August 1st, I walked outside, looked up, and the only thing in the sky was one of those large white planes streaming across the sky, laying down material that lingered and spread. I had seen these while living in New Jersey in 2003. I had noticed them in New Orleans in 2005. In June, when I started looking up, I had noticed them every day. Was it possible that this was the source? August 8th. This is the day I caught one on camera, clearer and closer than before. At this point, I was setting up video cameras and letting them roll. I could always have a look later while editing. By studying my own video and satellite photographs, I knew that capturing these in the right light would pay off at some point. I could see them within the clouds as shadows, but with hazy edges that sometimes poked out. I could pick out the smaller ones in the video as phantom ships. I set up this camera, turned away for about a minute, turned back, looked up, and saw this black diamond shape just sitting there, maybe no more than 200 yards. I could see it clearer with my eyes than what's in the video. The shape itself, and the shadow it cast onto the thin cloud veil. This random luck shot had me standing there telling it in a low voice, "I told you bastards not to get in the wrong light, or I will find you." It was now obvious that I not only had plenty of these craft in my video, but I had them dating back to July. I then scoured the videos for the repeating patterns, the triangular holes, the cloud bursts, the sharp edges, the wind patterns, the stationary clouds, etc. Picking out the shapes at this point became easy. Why? I knew what to expect and where to find it. Diagramming the photographs as I found the shapes became a hobby. Of the small craft involved, there are several different shapes. I've drawn them out the best I could. It was wrapping my head around the scale of the larger craft that the smaller craft attached to that took some getting used to. But the bits and pieces, the patterns and the repetition, putting two and two together, all began to build a bigger picture.
G'day guys, how are you? Good to see you. Thank you for watching. This is an old video of mine from 6 months, 12 months when I had my bigger channel, and I'll show you what I caught on camera as well. I'll put Joe on. Good to see you all. Hope you're all doing well. This is very interesting. Hope you like it. G'day guys, how are you? Good to see you. Thank you for watching, and a big shout out to all my subs. You rock, guys. And thank you to all the new subs. But I noticed on my sub count that I roughly get about 20 a week, right? So they're taking off me now. They must have unsub people. I nearly got to 6,000, and then suddenly it went down to 70 something.
That's when they messed with me.
5,700 or something.
Went to 10,000 and
like,
boom, gone.
And they took about 13 or 14 off me in one day.
Oh, they were
I know, right?
with
That's weird. I mean, not all of them, everyone made the same, oh, let's unsub. You know what I mean? I think that's what they do, guys, so you've got to be careful. But roughly, I've gone through my figures, and it's roughly 20 a week. So, but now they cut me down because I think they don't want me to grow too fast.
Yeah.
They don't want YouTubers to grow fast anymore.
Nope.
Now check this out, guys. Now, do you think these two pictures are very similar?
Mm-hmm.
Right? You might say yes. Right? These are pictures of clouds with the colour different, changed. Okay? Just to highlight what's in, I think, is ships cloaked into clouds. Right? Now, big g'day to Jim and Marky and Penn Woodsman. Too many to mention. You're gorgeous, Chris and Jim. But Jim, not Chris and Jim, but Jim, another Jim. I understand your point of view, Jim, that, you have your ideas on it, but I also have my ideas on this about the cloaked ships, and I think, I'm seeing them everywhere now, and this was in, Texas, right? And this was in Idaho, Nebraska, right? So, why are they very similar in different areas? And if you look through here, I made this video. That was the one in Texas, right? It was just a storm coming in. And I thought, hang on a minute. I can see there's some kind of shape in there, right?
Just stop it there. Big shout out to the Chief and Linny. Too many people to mention at this time, but that was then. I didn't know you all so well. This is my video from back in 2017.
So what I did this picture, took a photo with my camera off the TV, off my computer monitor, and I'll leave the link to this channel. But all the storms that are happening here, it's terrible what's happening with the world storms, massive hail, and tornadoes, and all kinds of, and that's the picture of it, right? You see, so you can see here, the two pictures are very similar, I think, to a ship. I think so. Maybe you don't, but this is I think that's like a gun. That's the front of a ship. There's the front of the ship. And with this one, you see there's very similar frontage on this ship. I know they're cloaked, but some say then, they can't see the ship, but I hope you can. But that's, people have their own ideas about the world and what's happening with, Nibiru and the income system and all that sort of stuff. But I think these ships are cloaked. They've been there for a while. They are from the fallen angels. They are demonic alien ships that are from a long time ago. The technology they had was given from the fallen angels is massive. And, there's the greys or whatever they're called. But I think they're very similar. And that was in Nebraska. That was the video I got it off. That I could see here that there was some kind of article in the cloud, and it was like square up here, and clouds aren't square. Someone said it could be a city up there, like a Chinese floating city, but I didn't think that. I think it was part of this big thing, this big ship that was there. So I got that from a video from Impossible Channel, James, awesome channel. He doesn't need any promotion. He's doing quite well. He's very good at what he does, and he's a nice guy too. And but you can see here that I think they look very similar, But I've been studying for quite a while. But like I said, now this is another lovely lady here, the Two Sons Teresa Acker, the Arizona Skywatch. Now, g'day Teresa, I hope you don't mind me using your vid, but I thought this was quite interesting. You won't find it again. And it was the Australian Antarctica Division of the webcams, the live cams that they do to, watch the things in the sky, the sun, and Now, there was like a green laser light coming from a satellite. I'd say that's a satellite, I'm not sure. But you can see there, it comes from there. It's like a green explosion, beam, doing something. And then there's a big light here, and you can see here there's something nosedives there, light source. I'd say that's one of the entities that I'm catching. I don't think it's a meteor. Could be, but I think it's those things that I'm catching. If you go back on my vids, people that watch my vids know what I'm on about. Look at that though, guys. That actually come out of there and burst into nothing. Then it just disappears. See that? Pretty strange, huh? But look, watch it. Here it comes. Look, there's a white light, whatever that is. I think it's supposed to be the sun, right? I don't know. And this beam thing goes bright. Boom. Nothing. And then it goes to nothing. What's the go there? You know what I mean? So, I'll watch it here. I'll put it in slow-mo. But there's that thing that goes down there. Could be a meteor. Could be the moon. Very weird the moon. But this could be the sun. But this beam from the satellite, I think that's a satellite dish there, guys. I'm not sure. So there's east, there's west. I think that's a satellite, isn't it? I don't know, but satellites are on the ground. Anyway, that's a green light. Laser light, I'd say. I don't know. I'm not an expert. I'm not a scientist. I'm just trying to figure this thing out. But watch this. Boom, look at that. It's pretty cool, huh? That's what Teresa caught. Well done, Teresa. And why I used a video, I hope she doesn't mind, but it's because you won't catch that again. You've got to be there at the time, and unfortunately she was, which is awesome. But you can see there's two light sources. That one I have no idea, but I think it's it's not a meteor. I think it's some kind of, I don't know. It's some kind of, I don't know. That's scientific talk, guys. You better listen good, because I'm going to be asking questions after this video. I'll tell you that now. But boom, you see it? No, you don't. No, you see it? No, you don't. Now, this is a close-up of that cloud, supposedly cloud. That's the inside of redone all the colour. But you can see here, that is not the shape of a cloud. I don't know. I'm going with a disguised cloak ship. They are monitoring, and now this is from Becky Lewis's channel. This is this was a little thing in the sky. She had a telescope. She zoomed right in, and it just looked like a twinkling little star, right? Twinkle, twinkle. And close up, it looked like that. I know, right? And it was pulsating. I know, very strange. So that was on Becky Lewis's channel. Well done, Becky, and it's a close-up of it. You can see, and then I reversed the colour. Hang on, there. So you can see here, it's got entity or something in there, But that's what was in the sky here. That's off my TV, on my computer screen, because, I don't want to use anyone else's material, but I'll just show you what she caught with her telescope from my friend's place. They zoomed in and it was stationary in the sky, but flashing. I can leave her a link to her channel, so you can watch it for yourself. There's a close-up of it. Very strange, guys, huh? Very, very strange. There's an inverted colour, and that's the, I think, a cloaked ship in the clouds, but in the beginning, you can see that I think there's another one there. And they're in different states. And these ships now, because they can't hide it anymore with chemtrails, I believe they bring it in cloaked as a cloud, and they bring them one in this side, one in that side, and they close in on the sun, and they can hide the sun as it's changing and stuff. They can do that because it looks to you like a cloud, and people say, "What is that weird cloud over the sun?" But I think the geoengineer or whatever they're doing is, chemtrails it's hard to hide this. It's big and bigger to hide what's happening anymore, and they have to bring in the ships. I think so. Yep. That's just my thoughts, guys. Okay. So that's what I'm thinking. Is what's happening, or they're doing a monetization of us. But I think that is very similar. It's got the same front end. See those three prongs there? This has got the three prongs there. See? 1, 2, 3. I've got 4. 1, 2, 3. That could be just because of the cloud. Anyway, guys, take care. God bless. Stay safe. I just thought I'd show you that and see what you reckon, because I think that we are being monitored and watched. And get ready for the alien disclosure, which is really demonic disclosure. And say, yeah, they've been here, they've been here a while, they've come from another planet, they made you, and you're going to, oh yeah, they're already brainwashed a lot of people. In my family, they think that we come from aliens. So there you go, not God. I know, right? It's really, really sad to hear. Alrighty, guys. Bye, guys. Love yous all. Take care. God bless. Stay safe. Don't be fooled.
On the left is what you see in the sky, or what they want you to see. Fluffy white clouds. On the right is actually what is there. A main aircraft hovering or moving slowly with its nose up in the air. At the bottom of the craft, jets emit a cloud-like material, probably strontium, into the air, while the cloud top-shaped rear edge churns the material into billowing cloud formations. I believe that it's the 4 round identical engines on the back that emit this material. However, the stream that comes from the back forms into striations of 8 to 10 lines before it completely billows into a single cloud unit. These devices are literally spraying clouds. The center large fan-shaped turbine serves several purposes. 1, it stabilizes the tilt of the aircraft while in this low-level mission. 2, it also emits the cloud-like material as exhaust that is vented ahead of the aircraft or behind it. 3, this coiled turbine is electrically charged. It is the center of electricity and probably gravity for the airframe and its satellite ships. It acts as a magnetic slingshot for the smallest of the craft. The various craft. As mentioned, the smaller craft were fairly easy to find. The jet signatures left in the sky are small, sharp, and repetitive. Scale has always been a difficult thing to decipher. I had nothing to compare them to in the sky until very recently. However, seeing the small craft is something that is not uncommon these days. I see enough to gauge that the size is about 10 feet across. They zip in and out of the clouds at a few miles per hour. I've read that the manta-shaped craft are about 50 feet long. The manta craft are about 1/3 to 1/4 the length of the large host craft, which makes the large one about 200 feet long. Finding the craft in satellite photographs has possibly confirmed this assessment. After having the time to research the possibility of information on these small craft already being available, I realized that yes, some of the descriptions I've been outlining fall in line with photographs of secret aircraft projects. Therefore, it could take an aviation expert minutes to tell me which was which, but any aviation expert I have contacted seems to be working for another cause. The lineup of ships are as follows. There is the huge blimp pictured at the top right. The largest craft of this system type is the aircraft carrier, the host, the base of the two-stage system. The next size down is very similar to the larger craft, but not in the shape of the front, but the similarities in the back. It seems to have only 2 of the 4 identical round engines found on the larger craft. However, it does also have the square corner thrusters that the large one has, and also has a center fan-like engine that shoots up and down, perpendicular to the surface. I would guess that one was designed after the other, just at a different scale. This size craft is found almost always attached to the rear sides when it is docked. Wasn't there mention of an Aurora 1 and 2? Not that the names matter. Though one of the new craft to emerge in video has been what is commonly deemed as the TR-3B. Its regular triangle shape is different from most of the others, in that it does not look like an aircraft from the Batman series. It attaches to the large craft on the underside, near the rear. Then there are the variety of craft about the same size, but come in different shapes, and are probably experimental aircraft from the span of decades. These can not only attach to the large aircraft carrier itself, but also attach to, recharge, and propel from the middle-sized vehicles. It's a chain. The next size up is the launch platform for the next smaller size down. And when they pop off, usually in an arc, they emit the cloud-making material stored within their hulls. Then there are what I term as runners. These are probably the latest technologies, small, compact, and very fast. I've seen several shapes not only with my naked eye, but in many, many videos. It was slowing down the video that revealed these. I initially brushed them off as mosquitoes, dragonflies, gnats, etc. But once I tracked them, I noticed a pattern. They run between the main aircraft carriers at a fairly fast rate, and some are faster than others. Most of the time, their paths pivot or change course when they get very near the center coil. It's like they're touching base with the ship. Sometimes they skip along only the back engines of the large craft, and sometimes only along the sides, and then move on to the next ship.
There is excitement among members of the UFO community over this footage that allegedly shows a massive cloud-cloaked alien UFO mothership that suddenly became visible as it sailed through thick clouds over a residential neighborhood. The footage was reportedly shot on September 28th by an amateur videographer when his camera accidentally filmed a massive alien UFO mothership that emerged from behind cloaking clouds.
Foolish biped, it's not a phone, it's a space portal. Our shock troops will teleport in and eat everyone's heads.